እሺ እንደምን ናችሁ? ያው በተወሰነ መልኩ አስተዋውቃኛለች። ሳሚያስ እባላለሁ። ያው ፊቴን ያው ታውቁታላችሁ እዚህ ቤት እያስታውሳለሁ አስባለሁ። I think we have a guest actually need somehow an English translation. Maybe we can switch to English so that everybody can be part of our conversation. Yeah, so welcome.
If you don't mind. If you don't mind,
Okay.
if it's okay with you.
Yeah, fine, good. So, okay, welcome. So, tell us about yourself and about Ethel, so that people can actually understand what's Ethel, and even the name itself. It's quite, unique, I think. So maybe tell us about you can.
Thank you for inviting me. As the host says, my name is Haimanot Tesfaye. I'm the founder and managing director of Ethel Advertising and Communication. I found this company in 2013, and when I found this company, it was mainly to cover the gap of the advertising, because I was working in a different company, in a newspaper company, and a marketing agency, and a real estate company, and I have seen the gap of the advertisers. Mostly they come with advertisement, but they don't know where to put their advertisement really. They come to promote their product and put a billboard for it, but that product really don't need a billboard advertisement. It might be just social media advertisement, or they have to put it on a newspaper. So as of my experience working in a newspaper company, digital advertising company, and also a share company, I decided to have this advertising agency which will fill the gap between the advertisers and the agencies. But luckily, one of my the first business comes was an event business. There was an international construction exhibition who approached me from Turkey to promote their event in Ethiopia. So by doing that, not only advertising, I start covering the gaps that they are facing in Ethiopia, like customs gap, different documentations, and finding venues, finding buyers, and finding companies on that sector as well. So through that journey, we almost become an event organizer, and we almost left the advertising and the communication job. But right now, since last year, we are focusing also on the advertising and communication. Your last question, what ETL means?
Even the name, like.
The name,
Yeah.
yes. ETL is a name of one person that I read on a book. He was like a founder of Ethiopia. I don't know, it's something related to culture and history. I'm not sure, maybe let me explain this in Amharic so that it would make sense mostly for Ethiopians. So I heard ETL የሚባል አንድ ከንጉሳዊ ቤተሰብ ውስጥ አንድ ኢቲኤል የሚባል ልጅ ነበረ። ንጉሱ ልጆቹን ወደ ተለያየ አገር ላይ ልኮ አገሮቹን እንዲያስተዳድር ሲልክ ይህን ኢቲኤል የሚባለውን ሰው የጊዮን ተፋሰስ ወዳሉባት ሀገራት ላከና እነዛን ሀገራት እንዲያስተዳድር ብሎ ኃላፊነት ሰጠው። ያ ሀገር ኢትዮጵያን ጨምሮ ኬንያ፣ ሱዳን እና ሰፊ ኢስት አፍሪካ ብለን የምንገልጸውን ሀገራቶች በሙሉ የሚያጠቃልል ነበረ። ስሙም ወደ ኢትዮጵ ተቀየረና ኢትዮጵያ በሚለው ስም ከሱ ተነስቶ የመጣ ነው የሚል ታሪክ አለና የእሱ ታሪክም ጥሩ ስለነበረ ሪሰንትሊም ደግሞ ስንሰማ አገሮችን የመሰብሰብ የተበታተኑ ሰዎችን የመሰብሰብ ቴንደንስ የነበረው ሰው ነበረ። ለሀገራችንም ትልቅ ታሪክ ያለው ሰው ነው። ለኢትዮጵያ መመስረት ታሪክ የነበረው ሰው ነው። ከኢቨንት ጋርም ደግሞ ሰምሃው ሪሌት ያደርጋል። ሰዎችን በመሰብሰብ ሀገራትን በመሰብሰብ ሴታፕን ስለሚፈጥር ስለነበረ እሱ ነው እንትን አድርጎ አነሳስቶን ካምፓኒ ኢቲኤል ያለው ማለት ነው።
Wow, it's really interesting. Right, this is my first time about ETL as well, so I think it's a kind of insight given for those who know more about ETL and the relationship between Ethiopia and ETL. Is he kind of prince?
No, he was not a prince. There was a king. Of course, he was a son of a king, but he was sent to East African area to Arts TV.
Oh.
They did a lot of things about it.
About Ethel.
About it, yeah.
Okay. You guys need to go to the Artist TV and do some research. Yeah. So let's jump into the mice sector. So most of us know about event industry. We know somehow, from my understanding, personally. But when it comes to mice, we don't even know the word. It's kind of new for us. Even what's really mice? I mean, what makes it different from event? Yeah. Give us some insight on that.
MICE is an abbreviation. It means meetings, incentive, conference, and exhibition. So it's an industry like other industries. So event is also part of MICE, but especially in Ethiopia, when we hear about event, we always relate it to festivity, bazaars, festivals, and entertainment activities. But MICE is more focused to corporate events. Of course, there is I, which represents incentive, that people come to leisure tourism and see different activity or cultural areas of that country. But mostly the meeting, the conference, and the exhibition represents on a conference industry. It focuses on the sector. For example, when we talk about exhibition, that's our company's specialization. We do exhibition. We focus on a sector. We might work on the construction sector, agriculture, textile, food and beverage, different sectors. So the benefit of the event is not just to entertain the participants. The impact is really wide. It has direct economic impact. It impacts the tourism because people travel from one country to other country to participate on that event. That means they will understand the culture of that country. They will see the infrastructure, the capability and the potential that country has. In the meantime, they participate on that event, which focuses on construction or agriculture or any sector. So they come for exhibition, they promote their product, they sell their product, they make different deals. In the meantime, it will give huge impact on that specific industry. I can tell you simply when we do the agriculture show, actually it was, I think, it was done until 2018, something from 2013. We used to see some of the products in the supermarket, like you see spaghettis, chocolates, and some other products that a company has promoted on that exhibition. That means there is a technology transfer, there is a knowledge transfer, and there is a product transfer as well. So it's an industry which will impact the economy widely than the tourism and than the entertainment.
Well, okay. I think, like you mentioned, it's a kind of multi-sector, industry that speaks to every sector within a given country. So, when it comes to Ethiopia, is there any we had a discussion before we came here, and we mentioned about the association. Tell us about the association. Those of you don't know about the MICE, I think, is it the MICE association?
Yes, actually, when we started the association, we call it Ethiopian Event and Exhibition Organizers Association, because we want the MICE sector to get to have really good focus other than events. And there were many people who didn't understand MICE, but nowadays it's been almost a year since the Ethiopian government has launched an office called Ethiopian Convention Bureau, which is directly working and engaged with the MICE industry. So when we formed the association, it was 2 years back. We were around 9 or 10 companies who strictly focus on conference, meeting, and saw, if I'm not mistaken, I think 65% of the tourists coming to Ethiopia, they come with a conference tourism. That means they come with an exhibition, they come to participate conferences, they come to participate meetings. What does that mean? It's also a direct investment. You know, they pay for their travel, for their air ticket, the hotel. They taste the food, they see the culture, they see the infrastructure, and there is an investment opportunity as well, other than trade and other than knowledge transfer. So we really want to focus and show to the government and also to other stakeholders how important the mice industry is. Without mice industry, the hotels will not have enough, they might not sell full capacity all the year. You have seen the COVID impact, our tourists are not always leisure tourists. Most of them comes with the mice industry. So I think we have done a good thing within the past years because we give good training to the Ethiopian Convention Bureau. We work with them closely, and at least Ethiopia for the first time has one government entity who cares about mice industry, and they are working really hard. Now the country has a mice strategy, and they are working more to make Ethiopia a mice destination for many other events and exhibitions. And me personally, with my company, last year in 2020, we have signed a contract with DMG Events, one of the world leading event company in construction, hospitality, and energy and power industry. So that's a good thing. That means like the industry is growing. Those international huge event organizing company are considering the country, not only because of your potential, but also if there is enough possibility and enough capacity in the country in terms of organizing events, in terms of venues, in terms of good hotels, in terms of professionals who will serve those organizations. So for us, it's a big deal to have such multinational organizers coming to Ethiopia.
Yeah, okay. So I think you mentioned COVID, right? So that was one of the challenges you faced for the last 2 years, I think. But not that only when it comes to Ethiopia, because we have that unique kind of problem. One of the things that you mentioned is understanding the industry by itself. So what are the challenges you've been facing when it comes to being in this mice industry and as a businesswoman? Because they're when it comes to developing countries like Ethiopia, sometimes problems arise from even the awareness, being understanding, the being seen, women seeing their leadership, thrown and everything. So what are the challenges you've been facing to come this way?
Yeah, there are many challenges, of course, but always when I tell to my team, we are problem solvers. We are here to solve any challenge and any problems that we're facing, because there's always a problem everywhere, especially when it comes to mice industry, starting from not understanding the sector by itself as an industry. Some people think you as an import company, someone think you as a commission company, because you're gathering so many different sectors like the catering, the decoration, the setup, the venue rental, the printers, and everyone. It's under us. So people think that our value is not really tangible when it comes to an event. So not understanding the industry by itself was one of the biggest challenge. The other challenge was the policy, because as I told you, we're more focused into the exhibition. We organize exhibition in different sectors. So the challenge in customs area, you bring products to promote on an exhibition, and you cannot get clearance without paying a tax, but that product has to go back to the country, to its origin. There are sample products, brochures, paints, and other samples coming to the exhibition, and the exhibitor has to pay 3 times tax for that. So that was a big challenge for us. Another thing, even the participants, the local participants, when you bring international companies to Ethiopia to participate on your exhibition, and you also need to have a local companies to participate on that exhibition. People do not want to pay that amount of money to participate on that event. That was also one of the challenge. When we grow the sector, it has to be in a good quality. You have to show same standard with Kenya, Rwanda, or what you see as Dubai in other countries. And to create standard, you will have a cost definitely. To do that cost, you need to have an income to cover that. So people do not understand that, and they don't really believe in investing on an event, especially on the
Oh.
So people don't take it serious. Yes. So I always prefer to have a phone call conversation before my first meeting, and I send really good emails and serious emails so that they take me seriously. So always on the first event, on the first meeting, the main challenge is the size.
The face.
I don't take serious to them.
Oh.
So mostly on the first meeting, I don't show my smile and everything. I become really serious and to the point. Once they understand the idea and the package behind me, then they forget about my personality and they start focusing on the business. So that was one of the challenge. But being a woman, I don't see it as a challenge. It's like an opportunity for me. Like especially in Ethiopia, there are so many opportunities. You are a woman, women wish to have support and something. I don't believe in that. Like we can do anything as anyone. Maybe my husband and my family can be witness for that. Like I don't consider myself as as many women consider it. So I don't see any challenge.
We mentioned about COVID, and when we talk about specifically my industry for the last 2 years, it was really challenging because there was no event. If there was no gathering somehow, there was no event. So how would the experience being passing through that journey, like as a business leader?
Yeah, it was really tough. It was really tough for every sector, not only for my industry, but it was seriously tough for the my sector and hospitality industry as well. For us, it was a complete confusion. We didn't do anything for I think 3 or 4 months. We didn't even go to office during the first pandemic. But then, luckily, as I told you, other than event, we also do advertisement, communication, video productions and something. When you work on an event industry, you need to have really good eyes on every of the productions, the printing, the design, the content, everything. So there were some companies who was requesting our support on their marketing strategy, our support on their production and printing service. So we were doing that small amount business, but then after the local events has started, especially the events related to the government, especially like after 6 or 7 months of the pandemic, the government event has started up. So we engage in that immediately. In the previous cases, for the past almost 6 years, we didn't do any local event. Like 90% of our business was international events, like the exhibitions, the conference, and the B2Bs for the companies coming from abroad. But last year in 2020 and 2021, we also focused on the local events. So it was challenging, but thanks to God, our company did not fire any of its employees. We didn't cut any salaries to our employees. Thanks to God, I don't know, but it was not that much really challenging for us, but it was really challenging for the industry. I've seen so many companies, they closed their companies, and even our exhibition, like we didn't do any exhibition almost for the past 2 years. And we postponed one of our biggest exhibition for 2022 because of COVID pandemic and because of no availability of the paint as Millennium Point has been taken for a temporary COVID center.
Okay, so I think you guys might say this guys so pessimistic. You've been asking challenges and challenges and challenges. There is an opportunity, of course. So tell us about the opportunities, because people are ready to be in that business, and some places, especially there's one our startup. You're gonna pitch later. Tell us about the opportunities. What opportunities are there?
In the mice industry, the opportunity is really vast. We can start from the population number. We have 100+ million. So when we think about, let me tell you more. Let me be more focused on an exhibition industry because it's related to trade, investment, and leisure tourism as well. So when we think of one exhibition, let's say construction exhibition, you might have 100 and 120 or 150 participants from abroad. All these people, they might come as 2 or 3 from each company. So you can imagine the opportunity for the country, for the transportation sector, for the hospitality sector, and for the entertainment sector as well. this is an opportunity for the country. But for the stakeholders, like the event organizers like us, there are really small number of professional event organizing companies in the country. There are many international event organizing companies who want to come to the sector and work in Ethiopia. Most of the exhibitions that we do is by partnering with other international event organizing companies. Literally, we don't have any local events which are really big as an international events. Recently, I know a company called Prana Promotion. They own many local events on the medical industry, agriculture industry, and poultry as well. But there are many sectors like the food and beverage. Ethiopia, we promote coffee. Yeah, where do we promote it? We take it outside in Dubai or in Germany, in any other international exhibitions. We pay in dollar and we promote it there. But we didn't create any event locally which will attract the international visitors to come and experience our country. We have so many things to promote each other. Like recently, we have done one social event called Ethiopian Week. We did it in May 2021. It was really amazing. Like it was our first time to engage in social event. So the idea was to bring all the regions together in Addis Ababa. Because of COVID, because of the political situation, no one is traveling the world, so the local tourism has been pressured as well. So when we bring all these countries, all these cities together, we were focusing on their investment attraction, on their touristic attraction, and on their cultural attraction as well. So I think we have engaged more than 20,000 visitors without counting the kids. It was really overwhelming for us as an organizer and for the participant as well. We did it in a sugar park. We have really impressive venues this time. We have sugar park, we have Mescal Square, we have Toto where we can do really many local events and social events. But we can put the social event within corporate event and create an opportunity and show the benefit and show the capacity that we have as a country. That we have so many things to promote, and all those things will come through events. And if you see nowadays, especially after we have the new government, there are many events, plenty of events. I don't know if you focus it well. Previously, most of the government officials, when they give interviews or when they hold some events, you don't even see a background. You might see some balloons, yellow, green, something which does not make sense at all with the event by itself. But nowadays, many people have a corporate touch. That means like even the officials are understanding about the quality, being presentable. Like you can present your idea within a really good platform which called event. So being an event organizer or being a supplier for an event, nowadays you are seeing many LED screens, right? Previously we just see 65-inch or 55-inch TV here and there. Now we can see 100 square meter or 60 square meter screens behind. And you see this large event in Mescal Square with all big stage, the screens and everything. So nowadays there is the understanding. It's time to create. It's time to show the new things rather than the balloons, the fabrics, and those colorings that we use for a wedding and some kind of entertainment events as we do previously. So there is an opportunity within the technology sector, which is the IT. For example, on an exhibition industry, we don't have any proper registration system in Ethiopia. So for this exhibition that we're doing in 2022, my clients are assigning one guy to do the registration system. And imagine how many IT companies and how many young professionals we have in the city. So we don't have a registration system. We don't keep our data. If we have data, it would be easier to promote ourselves and to send all of the information that we want to the direct stakeholders. And the live streaming, the live switching, like it's just coming nowadays 3-4 years before. So there are an opportunity not